Prepare to unwind with a story to soothe your heart and mind. The Tale of Bluebell and Angelonia, a story of sharing. This story is about Bluebell and her raccoon friend Angelonia as they learn the joy of sharing during a delightful summer picnic with forest friends. In a serene little village nestled between the mountains, there lived a kind-hearted human named Bluebell. She had hair as golden as the sunrise and eyes that shone like the morning dew. Bluebell's best friend was a curious raccoon named Angelonia. Angelonia's fur was a beautiful amalgamation of silver and charcoal, and her eyes were deep pools of wisdom. They both loved spending their days exploring the enchanting forest that bordered their village. One warm summer day, Bluebell and Angelonia wandered deep into the woods, their laughter echoing through the trees. As they walked, they discovered a large, lush meadow filled with wildflowers of every color imaginable. Bluebell picked a bouquet of daisies while Angelonia playfully chased butterflies. After a while, they came upon a tall, ancient tree with a wide canopy that provided shade from the sun. They decided it was the perfect spot for a picnic. Bluebell spread out a checkered blanket and unpacked a lunch she had carefully prepared. Fresh bread, cheese, berries, and a bottle of sparkling water. Angelonia's eyes lit up with excitement. As they sat down to eat, a gentle breeze rustled the leaves above them. A family of squirrels scampered down the tree, their noses twitching at the smell of the food. Bluebell noticed them and smiled warmly. "Why don't we share our lunch with our new friends?" she suggested. Angelonia nodded eagerly, and they broke the bread and cheese into smaller pieces, offering them to the squirrels. The little creatures chattered joyfully as they enjoyed the treat. The scene was one of pure harmony as humans and animals shared a meal under the ancient tree. After their picnic, Bluebell and Angelonia lay back on the blanket, looking up at the sky. White fluffy clouds drifted lazily overhead. Bluebell turned to Angelonia and said, "Isn't it wonderful how much joy sharing can bring?" Angelonia nodded, her heart swelling with happiness. "Yes, Bluebell. Sharing makes everything more special." The two friends closed their eyes, feeling utterly content. As the sun began to set, casting golden hues across the meadow, Bluebell and Angelonia knew that this day would be a cherished memory. They packed up their picnic and headed back to the village, their hearts full of love and friendship. And so, the tale of Bluebell and Angelonia became a beloved story in the village, teaching everyone the simple yet profound joy of sharing. Here bites the new story to soothe your spirit. The Unyielding Bond of Eerie and Orchids. This story is about the unyielding bond between a gentle human named Eerie and a resilient crow named Orchid, reflecting how persistence can heal and unite even the most disparate of souls. Eerie, a gentle soul living at the edge of a quaint village, had always felt a special connection to the forest. Each morning, she would venture into the emerald depths, singing songs her grandmother had taught her. On one such day, she found a wounded crow, with glossy black feathers lying under an ancient oak tree. Its wing was bent at an awkward angle, a sight that filled the brewery with sorrow. Determined to help, she took the crow home, naming it Orchid after the resilient flower that bloomed in the harshest of conditions. Days turned to weeks as Eerie built a makeshift habitat and cared for Orchid. Only the crow began to heal, and their bond grew stronger. Orchid's sharp, inquisitive eyes watched over Eerie as she worked in her little herb garden, often perching on her shoulder or pecking at her hair gently. When Orchid's wing had fully healed, Eerie knew it was time to let her go back to the wild. On the morning of the farewell, Eerie's heart ached, but she knew it was the right thing to do. As she opened her hands to the sky, Orchid flew in graceful circles before stepping on a nearby branch. It seemed that the crow, too, was reluctant to cut. Weeks passed, and the garden felt empty without Orchid's presence. Then one day Yuri heard a familiar call. Looking up, she saw Orchid perched high in the oak tree, looking down at her with a wisdom only time could bestow. Yuri's face lit up with joy, and she realized that their bond, forged in persistence, would never truly fade. From that day onwards, Orchid visited Yuri every morning. They continued their harmonious routine, Yuri singing the old songs and Orchid adding his melodic calls to the tune. Their story became a legend, in the village a testament to the unyielding bond that can form between two unlikely friends, and a reflection of how persistence can heal and unite even the most disparate of souls. Let's embrace the next chapter of tonight's journey. Of Abyssinia and Angelonia, a sanctuary tale. This story is about a kind-hearted woman, Kahinia, who provides sanctuary to a lost mouse named Angelonia, leading to an endearing friendship. In a small, charming village surrounded by verdant meadows and whispering forests, there lived a kind-hearted young woman named Kahinia. She had a gift for nurturing plants, and her garden was a sanctuary of vibrant blooms and gentle whispers of the wind. One day, while tending to her garden, Kahinia heard the faintest sound of scurrying feet. Peering closer, she discovered a tiny, frightened mouse hiding behind a large marigold. Kahinia's heart swelled with compassion. "Hello there," she said softly. "Don't be afraid. Are you lost?" The mouse, with its delicate gray fur and quivering whiskers, nodded. "My name is Angelonia," the mouse said in a barely audible voice. "I was separated from my family during the storm." Kahinia's eyes filled with sympathy. "Come with me," she offered. "You can stay here until we find your family." Angelonia gratefully accepted, and so began an unlikely friendship. Kahina created a cozy nook for Angelonia among the flowers, weaving a small nest of dried grass and petals. Each day, she would bring Angelonia crumbs of bread and seeds. In return, Angelonia would regale Kahina with stories of the mice wool beneath the meadow. "There are hidden paths and secret gatherings," Angelonia would whisper. "And every full moon, we hold a grand feast." Kahina listened in rapt attention, her imagination painting vivid pictures of the tiny worlds Angelonia described. The garden became their shared sanctuary, a place of solace and companionship. Time passed, and as the flowers bloomed and faded with the seasons, Kahina and Angelonia's bond grew stronger. One crisp autumn morning, a chorus of tiny voices called out to Angelonia from the edge of the garden. Her family had come searching for her. Tears of joy welled up in Kahinia's eyes as she watched the reunion. "Thank you, Angelonia," said nuzzling Kahinia's hand with her tiny nose. "I will never forget you." Kahina smiled, her heart full. "You will always have a place here, Angelonia." As the mice scurried away to their hidden paths and secret gatherings, Kahina returned to her garden work, knowing that it would forever be a sanctuary not just for plants, but for any living creature in need. Here bites the new story to soothe your spirit. The Fox and Peony, a tale of gratitude. This story is about Fox, a kind-hearted human, and Peony, a garden guardian, and their mutual acts of gratitude and friendship that bring prosperity to their garden and village. Once upon a time, in a quaint little village surrounded by a vast, vibrant garden, there lived a kind-hearted human named Fox. Every morning, Fox would stroll through the garden, marveling at the bright, blooming flowers and the gentle hum of bees gathering nectar. Among the vast variety of flora, there was one flower that stood out particularly for its enchanting beauty. a large fragrant peony that seemed to sparkle under the sunlight. Little did Phlox know, there was magic in this garden, for each flower was watched over by a garden guardian, a gentle spirit that ensured the vibrancy and health of the garden. The peony was protected by a tender, loving spirit named Peony. One day, as Phlox wandered through the garden, a sudden storm darkened the sky. The winds howled, and the once peaceful garden became a chaotic whirl of leaves and petals. Phlox rushed to find shelter, but noticed the peony swaying dangerously in the fierce wind. Knowing he couldn't let such beauty be ruined, Phlox ran to the flower and shielded it from the storm with his body. As the storm subsided, Patty the garden guardian revealed herself to Phlox, her form shimmering with gratitude. "Thank you, dear Phlox, for your selflessness," she said with a warm smile. "You've shown true kindness and courage today." Phlox, though scared and exhausted, felt a deep sense of gratitude himself. "I couldn't let such a beautiful flower be harmed, especially one as special as you." Peony blushed at his words, her petals glowing even more brightly. "From this day forth, you shall always find safety and happiness as long as you walk through this garden," she promised. From that day on, Phlox and Peony formed an unbreakable bond. Every time Phlox visited the garden, Peony would be there, sharing her wisdom and beauty. In turn, Phlox ensured that no harm would come to the garden, tending to it with even more devotion than before. Their friendship became a symbol of the village, reminding everyone of the power of gratitude and the strength found in selfless acts. And so, the garden flourished more than it ever had, becoming a haven of peace and joy for all who visited. Phlox and Peony's tale was passed down for generations, a timeless story of the magic that comes from gratitude and the simple, profound acts of kindness that bind us together. May you wake up renewed and refreshed. Sweet dreams.